¿Y qué tal un detective de talla mundial? Porque si quieres encontrar a tu viejo, yo soy tu mejor opción. Venga, equipazo. Tú y yo.
Oh, well, at first I felt like I had a responsibility to make sure that I'm gonna know about the whole world, because somehow Pokemon is one of the biggest cultural phenomenons of the last 30 years, and I somehow missed it. So I had to educate myself and learn about every nuance and every kind of aspect of that world. So it was a pretty big responsibility, only because people that are my age are obsessed with it for the sort of nostalgia factor, and just they grew up on it. And then there's kids that have the same age as my own kids, and they're obsessed with it. So it's a lot, so taking it on, and also you got to make it your own, have some fun with it. So I loved it. But once I dove in, it was so cool and so much fun. Probably the most fun I've ever had on a movie. No, that just came naturally, thank God. Yeah, that's the motion capture part of it was the most challenging, because that's where the whole performance comes from. But I loved that. That part was really great. There's a lot. I mean, there's a lot of different people that I wrote on the movie as well. There's a lot of people that wrote on the movie that are super talented, and sort of we all have our little moments and stuff. But I love the motion capture was amazing because it's limitless. Anything's possible. So I got to just play and sort of have a free reign and invent, and So we'd usually do 4-hour sessions, and then I would have the last 2 hours would just be I'd just get to sort of play. Oh, well, they both have the same daddy. They're pretty much, well, Deadpool and Pikachu are actually have a lot in common, because the characters to me are they're characters that are sort of super active, almost hyperactive, and never stop moving and never stop kind of editorializing the situation around them, which I love doing. I think it's one of the reasons I loved Deadpool. So, and it's one of the reasons I fell in love with Pikachu. So, they tend to do that. They tend to sort of set the stage with words for everybody over and over again, and a lot of one-liners. They love one-liners.
There's actually a great line in the film where he says, "I don't plan. I just do things in the moment," and that reminded me a lot of Deadpool. Yeah.
Yeah. My kids love Ludicolo and Psyduck, so I love those two. Charizard's pretty cool, just because it's such a fun character to see moving around. It's so intimidating and huge. So yeah, I would say those. I don't know. I loved filming the motion capture scenes with Mr. Mime.
Yeah,
it was great.
Mr. Mime is so weird. I love that there's a weird aspect.
I love that. Yeah, I love that Pikachu sort of like loathes him as well, which is fun to me. The things that are indelible to me are things that made a mark on you in your formative years, when you were just sort of figuring out who you are and what you identify with. And Pokemon's sort of built for that exact thing, because you have so many different Pokemon in this universe, and people relate to different ones for different reasons. As people, we're sort of capture our identity at a certain age. We start to identify with things and see ourselves as something other than maybe what other people see us as. And Pokemon reflects that in a cool way. So I think that's one of the reasons people are so passionate about Pokemon, is that there's always one to relate to.